So today I wanted to talk about being an empath, and a lot of people ask me about how to protect their energy, how to protect themselves when they go in public, to protect themselves against entities or to protect themselves, right, from being depleted or somehow assailed or attacked from the outer world. A lot of people say, like, well, if you buy a crystal, you need to clear it. And if you walk into a hotel room, you need to clear it. And those things are very easy to do. But I want to talk about something that I don't hear discussed often. And I had to kind of learn this the hard way because I had never really heard it explained explicitly before. And that is, while being an empath is part of our nature as sensing beings, right? And as having the ability to feel others, right? Feel life around us in a very intimate way, as if it were our own body, which it is. If you are only feeling your environment, right? If you go into a grocery store or a mall or an airplane or anywhere, and you're feeling primarily your environment, right? To the extent that you're not really feeling yourself pretty much at all, there's a major imbalance there. So if I were to take the stance that I need to protect myself and my energy, and how do I go out into the world without feeling depleted and without dipping around certain people? Well, the answer to that is that if you were really feeling yourself from the point of stability, which is the heart, if you were to really feel your light and therefore radiate it into your reality, then your environment would not affect you, right? You might be able to sense it and notice it, but it wouldn't affect the quality of your life. It wouldn't dip your energy. It starts to dip your energy, like if you do not feel yourself as strongly as you feel your environment, right? So again, feeling the environment and being an empath and in a sense boundaryless is a real dimension of ourselves, this boundaryless nature. But if as an individual, right, you haven't cultivated a strong core and sense of self, and you're only feeling your environment, that is an unhealthy imbalance that's going to cause you to run away from life and hide all the time. And it's going to cause you to be affected by your environment. So how do you kind of overcome your environment? Well, for one thing, we accept that we are sensing beings. So to be able to sense our environment is beautiful. To be able to love and accept myself and all of my humanity and the light and the dark and everything in between, it causes me to be fundamentally at peace with my environment, right? So if I deeply love and accept my humanity, my emotions, my judgments, right? Everything that is part of the human mind emotional field, then when I see it in the world, when I see the shadows of the world, right? It's just part of myself that I accept. So it can't affect me, right? If I feel my own energy, my own central channel and my own heart, and I radiate myself into an environment, if I fill up the environment with me and my love and my joy, the energies that are in the environment, whether it's a war site, whether it's the scene of a crime, whether it's a crystal that was touched by, some people with bad intentions or whatever, it doesn't matter, because I can fill the crystal with my love. I can fill the hotel room with my presence. I can fill the grocery store with my presence. I'm not just some empty container receiving the past of what has been in a space, right? And sometimes spiritual teachings can mess us up when it's like, there is no self, there is no personal self. Yes, there is. The self with a capital S is expressing as an individual with an energy field. And once you have practiced being so deeply loving and accepting of yourself, of your humanity, and therefore of the world, the need for protection disappears, because we only attract what's in our mind, right? So you cannot have an entity attachment unless there's something in your mind that resonates with it. So when people say like, oh, I went out in public and I picked up a bunch of beings or energies, it's like, well, what inside of your mind allowed that to happen? Did you go against yourself? Did you not listen to your intuition? Did you manipulate someone? Are you hungry for power? Right? If you're hungry for power, you will attract beings that want to feed on you. If you are addicted to certain emotions, right? Whether it's guilt or rage or even grief, if you are chronically addicted to an emotion, you will attract a being that will feed on that energy. So how do you transcend your environment and therefore become truly at one with it in love? Well, first of all, you make your priority living in your heart. Living in your heart. So as long as I'm living in my heart, in deep love and acceptance of myself, and therefore of the world, if I'm living in my heart and I have trained my attention to fall from my mind into my heart, and I interact with life from my heart, not only in love, but in self-empowerment, right? Both love and empowerment. If I feel empowered, I do not need to manipulate reality. Therefore, I don't attract entities that manipulate me. If I do not feel like a victim, I do not attract people or entities or energies that bully me. If I do not belittle myself and reject myself, I do not attract energies, people, or entities that reject me. That's just how it works, right? So if I deeply love and accept myself, and I live in my heart, and I've embodied my God self, which is not only intelligent love, but it is infinite intelligence that is capable of creating a universe, right? I do not need to control and manipulate people in my life to get what I want, because I know I can create it, right? If I know I can create the life that I want, and I don't need to seduce or deceive in order to get what I want, first, I love and accept the human part of me that thought that the only way that it could get what it wanted was to manipulate and deceive, right? And we all have that. We've all sold our soul in one way or another because we didn't feel capable of creating what we wanted, simply because we are infinite intelligence. So we've developed strategies to get our needs met, to get what we want in ways that are not empowered. But when I've learned that I am infinitely capable of creating, right, that that no matter what appears in my life, that I can create a solution, because actually a solution and a problem are created simultaneously. And if I know that, and if I feel empowered to be able to channel and allow the solution of any problem, I can and I will. And not only solutions to problems, but I can create what I prefer. I can create what I want in my life simply by choosing it, having a pure thought about it, and by realizing that any resistance about it, I can disempower, I can diffuse, and therefore I can isolate a pure thought and create it. And when you show yourself that you can create reality, which you do, then the wound of unworthiness and the need to seduce and the need to manipulate and the need to control just kind of fall by the wayside, because they have no power once you've seen what the true power is, which is the realization of yourself as creative, loving intelligence. So, how do you protect yourself? You don't need to protect yourself. Besides being empowered and living in the heart, really kind of questioning and dismantling the belief that you can be attacked. Is it true that you can be attacked? What people say to you, people's opinions about you, if you love and accept yourself deeply and truly, and if you know yourself as the creator, what people say and do really have no bearing on your energy at all. You know, we might empathize with the world, right? The whole universe is our body. So when there's suffering in the world, like, we feel that suffering. We feel, you know, what's going on in the world. That's not a bad thing. But to be completely chronically overpowered by it, and basically to allow it to snuff out our ability to stay in our creatorship, right? That's an imbalance. So I'm not saying stop feeling the environment and stop being an empath, but don't allow yourself to only feel the environment, but equally contribute to the environment. So the belief that I can be attacked, again, that is such a huge belief that is worth inquiring into, questioning, and dismantling. Can I truly be attacked? Can life attack me? No. Not when I know that I created my life, that I designed this life to have a specific experience. Everything that you are experiencing, you want to experience, whether it's an illness, whether it's a difficult relationship. If you can realize why you want what you want, right? Sometimes people create illness because they don't believe they can say no in life, right? So they create a way out. They don't believe that they can have what they want, so they create a way out of what they don't want. I know this from experience. When I was in the hospital with cancer 11 years ago, it occurred to me that this was my attempt of trying to get my parents to love me in a way that I didn't feel loved as a child. And I realized in that moment that I was in the perspective of a victim child, and I said no. I discarded that, and I said, this is not what I want anymore. It was what I wanted at the time because I didn't feel empowered enough to make choices. I didn't feel enough trust in myself to be able to make a choice and feel supported by the universe, but now I do. And so what I want is different now than what I wanted then. But to take complete ownership and responsibility that what we experience is what we desire to experience. But the more empowered and in our hearts we become, the more unlimited our options become, because we no longer have to create unconsciously from the perspective of being a victim, of being unsupported by life, of being powerless, of being helpless. So if I feel empowered, if I'm in my heart, if I know I'm capable of creating, if I listen to my inner teacher above any other authority, whether it be a religion or a spiritual teacher or the wisest self-help guru in the world, if my inner voice is more important to me, if my inner teacher is more important to me, right, and more real than any of those things, so much power comes back into my experience. So if I'm empowered and I live in my heart and I listen to my inner teacher and I literally feel myself, my central channel, my joy, my heart, and I fill the space that I am in, I contribute my beautiful essence to the space I am in, nothing can feed on me or affect me or attach itself to me, period. So try this, right? When you go into a space where you typically might feel attacked, well, instead of going into a place and kind of just wandering back in the same old way you always have, feel your central channel, right? Kegel your energy into your root chakra, feel your heart, feel your essence, and feel your essence shining out, radiating out through your presence, and walk into a space and contribute your beautiful energy into a space instead of only being the observer of what is there and what has been there, right? Because you're not just an observer, you are a creator. People who ask, how do I protect myself? How do I, how do I not be affected by energy vampires? Those people don't yet know that they are the creators. They don't yet know it experientially, because if they knew it, they would create their own energy and they would feel like they are radiating themselves into reality and not just receiving. Even all of our chakras have they project and receive. Even the third eye projects and receive, right? Everything is a hologram. We are both creators and receivers. So if you're an empath, right, your ability to receive and read is really refined and fine, and that is beautiful. But don't forget to do the other part of you, which is create, radiate. We are simply not living our whole selves if all we do is observe and receive. And in order to contribute and give and radiate, it's very simple. It's as simple as feeling your heart and feeling your joy, your love for being alive, or just your love of self, or just love in general, or just say the word soul, say the words my essence, and feel it shining through you. And by focusing on yourself and your essence, it automatically radiates into reality. Whereas if you're just observing, it's like you're behind reality, kind of just watching whatever's on the screen and feeling whatever comes into your awareness. So I am speaking from experience of having lived a life of extreme empathy and boundarylessness, which now the way that I experience boundarylessness is in a kind of orgasmic, beautiful way, because knowing the same thing, that the whole universe is my body, but now that I deeply love and accept myself and all of humanity, and that I know I'm a creator, my experience of boundarylessness is so much different than it was when I believed that I could be attacked, when I didn't know that I was the creator, when I didn't feel my essence shining into reality, when all I felt was my environment. I felt like I didn't exist. And we do exist, right? We, the capital S self, exists, and it exists as you. And your essence is a note in the orchestra of reality. It's a flavor in the recipe of reality. It's a song. It's an important element, and a necessary element in the universe that is beautiful because it exists. And for you to feel yourself, feel that essence within you, and just decide to feel it, put attention on it, and radiate it into reality, it will make you impenetrable to the environment, right? So in a nutshell, feel yourself, feel your heart, know that you are the creator. Understand that you cannot be attacked. You cannot be attacked unless you believe that you can be attacked. When you know that you cannot be attacked, what people say, what people do, what has happened in the past, it will not affect your energy. It will not dip you. It will not make you contract. It will not make you dim your light, because you realize on a very deep level that everything is just an isness being what it is. Your parents, society, whoever may have an opinion about you, you cannot be psychically attacked unless there's a part of you that identifies as a victim. If you are an empowered being in your heart, in your love, in your knowledge of that you are a creator, everybody could be sending you psychic daggers and they would just melt and bounce off of you, because nothing can enter your experience that you don't allow by remaining in a level of understanding, whether it's helplessness, victimhood, etc. So again, I cannot be attacked. I do exist, and my essence is something that I can focus on and radiate into reality. I can fill up the grocery store. I can fill up my family gathering with me. I can buy a crystal at a crystal store and fill it up with my love, right? You don't have to clear and protect yourself if you are aware of your essence and shining your essence into reality, and then recognizing, how do you sell your soul? Do you go against yourself, right? Do you manipulate and seduce reality to get what you want, that you don't yet know that you're a creator? And so therefore you invite a mirror in the form of a person or an energy that will do what you do, that will do to you what you do to yourself, period. So I hope this is helpful. Again, this is coming from experience and of years of contemplation on this subject, because I got to a point that I was so tired of feeling attacked by the environment, and I was so severely affected by it that I was like, there has to be something I'm not seeing. There has to be another way. There has to be something I'm not understanding. And this is the answer to that question that I posed to myself. And I hope it's helpful. Have a good day.